I keep my eyes open, all other cryptos as well, because I always like to know what's going on from an investment perspective in other chains. But in terms of where I do business on the Ravencoin blockchain as far as tokenizing real estate is concerned. Yeah.
I just realized this whole time I wasn't streaming. I am so messed up right now. Oh man, first it was an audio issue. Next thing is like I'm not even streaming. I just started the stream right now. Hello everybody. Welcome to the Cryptoverse chat. We just finished talking for about 3 hours and now we're wrapping it up. Thank you guys for listening. Bye bye. About 30 seconds in. Goodbye. Oh man. Yep, it's one of those days, man. Just rushing home from work and trying to, you know, get focused and jump into my, into my zone with crypto and try to figure out what's the topic. And this has always been one of those fun shows that I like to do because literally whatever you think of that's as long as it's crypto related, bring it to the table. Let's talk about it. And for me, I've been pretty much just thinking about entrepreneurship on with crypto in the blockchain space in the metaverse because they're all pretty much intertwined. How are people succeeding? How are people overcoming those challenges? Is it really just take it one step out of a time, or is it you're spearheading with the most hottest arrowhead imaginable and just bulldozing through everything and just dominating with so much power and fierce? Or are you just being very precautious of not to overstep your boundaries?
I mean, John, from my perspective, at the end of the day, when you set out a vision for a business, and this is obviously talking about tokenizing real estate, Brick BC, when we set out the vision, at the end of the day, you got to set in terms of the goals, objectives, the outcomes, and put it on a timeline. At the end of the day, the market's going to go up and down, and if you can't time the markets, you just got to keep working what you set out for in the beginning. And again, I think if you stick to the commitment and the passion what you're doing, you'll get there in terms of what you're trying to achieve. And I think just like you, the humble, and you'd be the same thing in terms of obviously in terms of your project. It'd be the same thing in terms of you just keep powering along in terms of what you need to do, ticking the boxes in terms of developing your project. And I think we're on the same page. I think as a building a business on a blockchain, I think we're all the same mindset. And the people that aren't fall by the wayside, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's definitely good days. There's bad days. I think the important thing is just with any business is just you keep your eye at the end of the road and just keep on chugging along and just being try not to be stagnant with the changing markets. I think one thing specifically in blockchain is and definitely Brick has dealt with this is just the just making sure you're toe to line on legality of things. Like there's certain things that I can't do or offer in game, and just so I'm not crossing any lines. So that's something that you have to really look at, especially when you put your name out there and you put it under like a under your actual name. You're not just some anonymous creator out there. So uh, you can definitely be affected if you do the wrong thing, whether it's like securities, whatever it is. So yeah.
Here's an interesting question for you guys. For somebody that's trying to get into the crypto space and start a business in crypto, or just dabble with crypto, um, I want to know your guys' experience. Did you guys already have experience with like coding, engineering, blockchain? Did you guys already know some of this before you guys actually dove deeper into it and started making a business out of it? Or is it one of those things that you were impressed with this new technology, therefore you kind of while you're learning on the spot, you just built a business around it?
Brick, you can go if you want.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a coder, as you know, John. I'm a CPA accountant in Australia, so my background is in terms of compliance, accounting, legal, and obviously property. That over the years been involved in property more than I've been an accountant. So again, that's my background. And the thing is, although I'm not a coder, but I've got an understanding about technology, and I'm always looking for the latest technology to try and improve business efficiencies. And as I've always been like that, and whether it would be back to zero account cloud accounting back in 2008 when that was all very early. So for me, it's always looking for what's next, what's the next technology that'll help business efficiencies and provide, again, provide access to everybody, because that's what we're trying to achieve: provide access to anybody around the world, whether it be in terms of, previously with cloud accounting, in terms of, in terms of any small business, and here we are in terms of we're talking about access to anybody in terms of property. So for me, it was just about finding the best of breed when it came to the technology side of things, and obviously that's why we engaged DigiShares, because they are the global service providers when it comes to creating platforms and maintaining platforms on a blockchain. So for us, it was about finding the best of breed. That skill that I didn't have, but I know I could find the best, and we got the best. And it's okay. That's sort of my sort of pathway in terms of where we are today in terms of tokenizing real estate on the blockchain.
Nice. Humble?
For me, I was in the crypto space for a long time prior to starting or even having the idea of starting a business on blockchain. So I was definitely well versed in just overall mechanics of transactions, knowing different chains and features was definitely a start for me. And like eventually I had like kind of the idea of like starting a business on it, and luckily like a chain like Ravencoin came around that made sense for me to build my LLC on, and like the game specifically, kind of it just made sense with the way that Ravencoin tokenizes assets, and so it's perfect for that type of for a game.
Interesting. Um, okay, but the next topic I want to ask. So I was at a meetup not so long ago, and my name is known out. I'm not saying I'm popular, but among the group that I hang out with, they know me as Blockchain John. So when somebody's asking, "Hey, do you guys, when a new person walks into the building and says, "Hey, do you guys happen to know who Blockchain John is?" They'll point right over to me and introduce me to this new person. It's like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" It's like, "Hey, no, then I'm just hanging out like everyone else is, right?" It's like, "Cool. Well, do you want to debate about blockchain?" It's like, no, not really. I mean, it's like Satoshi said, what's the exact quote? I gotta find the exact quote. Either you believe or you don't, but I don't have time to explain to you. I forgot exactly how it goes. I gotta look it up now. Satoshi, I time to explain. Let's see here. There it is. Found it already. Loading. If you don't believe it or don't get it, I don't have the time to try to convince you. Sorry. That was written from Satoshi Nakamoto. And that's the reality, dude. It's like I'm here to give you guys, all this content, and I want you guys to be educated of what's going on in the space and all these new projects that are coming up. That's what I love sharing. I want to bring more exposure of what's growing in this entire cryptoverse, right? I'm not going to tell you, hey, you should definitely come over to this blockchain because it's the best. You should definitely go to crypto because it's the best. It's like, hey, it's up to you, man. If you want to take a ride on this boat, then cool, jump on in and we'll go for a cruise. Or if you want to stay on the fiat boat, that rightfully, in my opinion, is a boat that is old and rusted with a bunch of holes in it and is sinking every single day. You know, at least that's the way I see it. But yeah, anyway, so this kid wants to talk, and no, I'm not gonna debate. I don't want to waste my breath. Why? Would you guys? I'm not. I mean, either you're with it or you're not. That's end game. That's it. How would you guys approach that? I mean, would you
Um,
invest some time in trying to educate the kid, or 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 how would you approach it?
for me, it depends on the person. Sometimes some people are worth the time. Some people just aren't.
Yeah. So
If it's somebody that's open to it, I have a lot of good friends that are that aren't into crypto, and I've had a lot of debates with them, which is it's good debates. It's nothing like
Yeah.
Nobody's yeah, it's positive. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know the kid, but here's a little bit of his backstory. The reason that he's no longer in blockchain because he worked for a blockchain business for a couple of years, and he says he told me, I'm not going to tell you what business I worked for, but if you know more or less the companies that exist out there, then you'll know what I'm talking about when I say yada yada yada. So when he told me what he did in the business, I knew immediately what business it was without him telling me. So I'm not going to repeat it. But he says the reason he left was because there were a bunch of scams. And I said, yeah, I mean, that was obvious. But that doesn't mean that crypto in its entirety is a scam. He's like, yeah, regardless. He's like, regardless, I don't want anything to do with crypto because, in my opinion, they're all scams. It's like, okay, well, that's your opinion.
Yeah, I think I think if you sort of go back a few years ago, like when I first heard about Bitcoin, going back to 2010, from a good friend of mine, and back then, basically it was very technical. You had to you hold your own keys and so forth, and he told me all about it. And but it always stayed in my mind. And I said to Mark, mate, if I don't understand it fully, I just want to invest in it. But I get what you're saying. But he just went very technical. He went deep in terms of the fundamentals of Bitcoin. But it always sat in the back of my mind. I never forgot about that conversation. And obviously, it took me to 2008 to get back to revisit that conversation. But yeah, look, I think today, John, I think people, it's one of those things. If you don't know what you don't know, you keep doing the same thing, right? But I think we've got a duty as a collective to provide basic information to people to whet their appetite, what blockchain is all about. And I think the ones that are open-minded, you don't mind spending time with those people, but you'd also know the ones, the characters. They know everything, and everything. Everything's a conspiracy, and those ones you're wasting your time because you're better off putting that time to people that are open-minded about want to learn what it is. And I think we're at that stage now. I think there's becoming more and more awareness through the different, obviously, in terms of mainstream marketing with crypto.com and all those exchanges getting out there. I think people are more curious now, wanting to know more about what it is, and that's what I'm finding, and I'm happy to spend time with people that are open-minded about it and want to learn. Yeah.
You know, um, do you happen to know people that are just normal everyday people, not in the crypto space, but that are dabbling with crypto? And what I mean is just like the Joe Schmo that you happen to cross by and like, hey, I bought Dogecoin because Elon said it was cool. In fact, I've had that experience with somebody at the bank, and he didn't want to stop talking about it. I was like, okay, yes, yes, I got it. You love Dogecoin because Elon is talking about. This was last year. You guys, I'm sure you guys recall last year when Elon Musk was on what SNL talking about Dogecoin,
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
and it was up like 6%.
Yep. Yeah, I know a lot of people like that. And then what's really cringy is when somebody says they're trading that Bitcoin stock. It's just like nails on a chalkboard to me. When somebody refers
Yeah,
to
yeah,
cryptos as stock.
yeah, right, exactly. I love. So speaking of that, speaking of that, some of the OGs at work, man, I'm talking about these guys are like double retired already, and I don't know why they're still there, but they're on the lunch break. I'm sitting down at on the bleachers outside because it's a nice warm day outside. So I'm like, hey, and instead of being indoors all day long, why not go outside and get some fresh air and have my lunch? So I'm minding my own business, and then the OGs come along with their plates of food, and they sit down, and you know they're talking about, this is right when Coinbase was listed on the stock market, and like, hey, have you guys heard about the this new Coinbase thing where you can buy coin bits, coin bitcoins? And I'm just, you know, I'm kind of like shaking my head like, no, 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 no. And the old guys, man, these guys, they're like amongst themselves, they're geniuses. And I'm just over here and they're like, this is horrible. This is horrendous. Horrendous. I'm sorry. I'm not even gonna I can't, buddy. I can't. Either they take the time to actually just watch some videos on the basic fundamentals of blockchain and crypto, because in their minds, literally the first time they heard about Bitcoin was when Coinbase listed. Therefore, in their minds, Coinbase is the creator of all Bitcoins. If you buy from Coinbase stock, you are buying Bitcoins because they are the makers of Bitcoin. I'm like, what the hell is this? No, this can't be. Is this what we're coming to in this world? This is what people think? Jesus. I know
But
Brian Armstrong is. Go ahead.
with John, it's actually not all bad. I mean, obviously we cringe at it when we see that, but you know what? So many of those people that whether it be Coinbase, whether it be the Doge situation, those people then that sort of got them to go deeper in terms of what crypto is all about. And these days, some of those what characters that I know in terms of what they're doing today, they're actually investing into a wide, more valuable, more blue chip cryptos. So I think sometimes it takes that, you know, just to create the attention in mainstream. And but obviously, you know, some people have also been done in terms of obviously following. I still remember Doge in terms of what he went on. How he went, I think he almost touched the dollar, Australian dollars anyway. That Doge situation, but again, it's brought more mainstream to blockchain, to crypto. So, look, I think it's as much as we cringe, but at the same time, it is helping bring mainstream in.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna give you the mic, humble. Um, CBDCs, man. CBDCs is one of those things that people think it's a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy, man. CBDC, this is not possible. There's no way that the government's gonna control you with the CBDC. They're just trying to help the economy, man. We're in such a we're such a mess of a global economy that nations around the world are trying their best to help out their fellow citizens come out of poverty, you know, by creating a CBDC. That's literally the shill. I don't understand the mindset behind that, man. That bothers me. I don't know if you followed the news on CBDC, Brick, but it's terrifying. It's terrifying to give this type of power to global leaders.
I don't think people understand how bad it is in terms of what's under the hood. It might look pretty on the outside in terms of how governments are trying to paint it in terms they want to, you know, obviously bring they're painting out we're advanced, we bring new technology in terms of our country. I know our Australian Reserve Bank put out their project blueprint paper to that's will go to middle next year to some of the pilot projects around CBDCs, which they're calling the EAU digital currency, Australian digital currency, which they paint out this that they're very advanced in terms of what they're trying to do with digital currency. But if only people knew the what's under the hood in terms of the ability to control people through digital currencies, it make people run away a mile, and that's the thing that people don't understand the power of it, what governments can do with it. Yeah.
Speaking of power, there's a lot of warfare going on right now in the Middle East, and you know, um, I'm in the States, and a lot of people don't really bat an eye on that. Um, if the Kardashians spark, that's global news. You know, but when a elementary school with children in it, when they're just trying to study, get bombed by an airstrike for just learning, you know, it's sad. You literally have countries, nations, being bombarded in warfare nonstop day after day. Imagine that, being born into warfare, knowing nothing more but warfare. I've seen videos where children are experiencing, like literally like 5-year olds, 10-year olds. They can't even cry because that emotion does not exist within them because they're born into warfare. So to see explosions go off, to see people's body parts fly everywhere, they're so numb to that because they were born directly into that. It's mind blowing, man. It's mind blowing to see them in hospitals where you see the adults crying and screaming and in agony for help, but you see a little child, an infant, 4, 5, 6 years old, just sitting there trying to just get their wounds cared for. It's so sad. You have Yemen, Iraq, uh, Afghanistan. What else? Ukraine. That's the newest one on the market right now. Syria. I mean, it's nonstop, man. It's nonstop. And people say that stuff won't happen here in the States. I think I think if it comes down to it, with the economy, if the economy ends up crashing, the dollar ends up losing value, and people are like, "Hey, no, we're a pretty good country. We're gonna end up bartering with each other." Absolutely not. I don't think that's a fantasy, man. I don't think people are gonna barter with each other. Do you? Do you, Brick? I don't think so, man. That's what's terrifying, you
Yeah,
know?
it's pretty bad. I was actually last night. I was watching the news. I don't really sort of catching on what's happening world news, and I was saying to Mrs. Brick last night that in terms of what was happening in Ukraine and obviously all the bombing, I said, how can we look back in World War Two, what happened in World War Two, and as humanity, we think we would have learned what happened back then, and how do we get into a situation now that a country is able to do that, killing innocent people? I just don't get it in terms of how do we get to this point. We thought that it would never happen after World War Two, and here we are again in terms of the extremes, seeing these people that being caught up in the power struggle and all the crap that goes behind it. It's quite sad. But in terms of like what you're saying about people, I mean, I agree, mate. I think the government's can only push people so far, and given the things that are happening in terms of controlling and so forth. I mean, I was listening to somebody speak the other day over there in the US. I mean, someone in New York in terms of how low the wages have gotten. You got people working for as little as $12 an hour, and I thought, geez, that's with obviously inflation, the massive inflation. I mean, we've got inflation, but these guys have got another level of inflation to us. And if you start talking about true inflation, I think these guys got more like 19% true inflation if we were actually calculate what the true inflation is over there. And with that, and people obviously the level of wages, something's got to give. People start standing up as united and start making some noise, and that's pretty scary. Yeah, we've seen in obviously other countries where
Yeah.
things can get to, and obviously overthrowing the governments and so forth, which can be quite scary in itself. But yeah, it's yeah. I mean, governments have got to do something, and what they're doing at the moment, it's not helping things, and again that whole control mechanism. Mm.
Tying it back to CBDCs, did you hear about that whole fiasco with PayPal?
Yeah, I
Did you
did
hear?
actually. That caused a massive storm. You know,
Yeah.
again, I think they will regret that making that decision. I mean, obviously they backflipped on it, but you can't take
So
it back. You can't put it down to it was a mistake or whatever the case, whatever the excuse was. You've put it
that
out
was
there.
so when
Yeah,
you just look at it at face value, it is the most bizarre thing, uh, you know, to imagine that a private company would do that, you know? Or actually,
like
it's a public company. This public company. Imagine this company doing that to its customers. Like literally, you don't. Basically, what they're saying is you don't have the right to speak your mind, and if you speak your mind, and it's something that we as PayPal disagree with, we will fine you $2,500. That on face value is just bizarre, right? Like, why? That
unheard of,
doesn't make any sense.
unheard of. I've never heard it. To be that extreme. I mean, we're talking about,
But
I know we talk about Chinese government, how controlling they are, and we're talking
right,
about those sort of fundamentals, right?
right. And just to tie it all back to CBDCs, that's what I'm trying to tell people is that that's just the beginning. Like literally, you will not have the choices of what to purchase. The government's going to tell you, hey, you're going to buy, porridge on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. That's what you have. You might have a little bit of beef, maybe an ounce or 2 ounces of beef on Wednesday. That's maybe not even beef. Maybe it's just like Beyond Meat. Just one of those vegetarian beef patties. And that's aside
And
from the whole beef thing, the idea is that the government's taking control, and people don't believe that. It's like it's a conspiracy. That's not going to happen. You know, yes, it is going to happen, and yes, it is happening now. If you look around, PayPal's doing it, but people turn their backs on that. It's like that's yes. If nobody paid attention to that, that was going to be the reality. The thing is, the same thing with the CBDC, the government's going to push it on people whether they like it or not. You do not have a choice. You will adapt to it or you will not be able to be a part of the ecosystem, the economy, right? The growing economy. You want to go to the store, you will not be allowed to buy anything. Let's see. And the whole thing started with the injections, right? With the whole vaccine, quote unquote. You know, you're not allowed to go out, you're not allowed to go shopping, you're not allowed to have a job without your vaccine, you're not allowed to jump on airplanes, take the bus, take the taxi. You're not allowed to do anything unless you are vaccinated. And all the governments around the world unanimously agreed with that. It's going to be the same thing with the CBDC. You will not allowed to do anything unless you adopt it. So to say that we're a democratic nation, it's obscene. It's obscene. We're living this bizarre world right now. It's so bizarre when you actually look at what's going on around the world. But everybody wants to live in their own little fantasy. Like, no, it's nice and peaceful. As long as we take the time to vote and elect representatives, our world will be fine. It'll be all peachy. Right now, it's just because we don't have the right people in power. It's like I don't know. So let's see who's that? Who's that wants to speak? Excel. Let me bring Excel on the table here. All right, Excel, go ahead.
But you're right, John, in terms of people that understand the full impact of CBDC. I'll give you a quick example before Excel comes on. He's actually on now. Sorry, go on, Excel. You go. Yeah, please go ahead, Excel. You go first.
Oh yeah, good day guys. What's up? How you doing? You am I rocking?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How are you doing? I just saw the little conversation and I just felt like okay, yeah, let me just join in and listen on what um everyone has to say and what you guys are talking about. And I see you're talking NFTs and cryptocurrencies. I'm vast in knowledge in those aspects. So yeah, I just decided that okay, yeah, let me just tune in and hear what's going on basically.
Yeah, no problem, man. Excel, where are you from?
Oh yeah, I'm from Nigerian. I'm from Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian.
Okay, sounds good. Well, welcome, welcome. Hang out while we're just chit chatting about just anything crypto. So if you have a crypto topic, blockchain topic, if you have a story that you want to talk about, hey, bring it to the table, man. That's what this space is all about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's nice. Basically, I do Web3 jobs. I'm more of a Web3 job guy. Basically, yeah, that's my niche, and I've been on it for quite some number of years. I've um taken my time to understand my niche and like grow and build my connections basically in that aspect. I'm a community moderator, community manager, collab manager. I've worked for some projects basically. I have affiliations to Space Warlocks, Digicom, Zakiro, The Way Jazz, Yup Deities, um Sabai Ecovas, Lap Lap, a lot of projects
Okay,
that's been,
Excel,
yeah.
Excel, what's your GitHub? Let me check out your GitHub.
I don't have a GitHub right now.
Why not? You have all this experience. You should have a GitHub.
Yeah, I'm working on one. It's like here in Nigeria, you have like limited access to GitHub. You can't really use audio functions and basically because it
Oh, interesting.
yeah,
Okay,
it's kind of different, yeah.
okay. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, but
All right, let me hold on a second. X, I'll have Alexis that wants to jump on real quick and see what they got going on.
uh,
Alexis, welcome. If you got something to talk about in regards to crypto, blockchain, Web3, or just you just have a personal experience you want to talk about, welcome. Go ahead, Alexis.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, it's really
Uh,
staticky. You have your headphones plugged in?
can you hear me now?
Yes, I
Yeah,
can hear you
it's
now. Go ahead.
um, it's about what you were discussing. My friend just hooked me up. She was here before and she left. Because I'm very interested in things that happen in the US, even more than my country, and it frightens me. Like what is going on? It really, really frightens me because whatever happens there, people around the world, what US does not know it.
Oh, hold on. Where are you
Yeah,
from, Alexis? So I can get an idea of what you're
yeah, I'm
talking about.
from Nigeria. I'm from Nigeria.
Okay, go ahead.
Ah, it frightens me. It frightens me a lot because our government sometimes they copy the bad parts of America most times. Like you have the good parts, but they like copying the bad parts. And that is part of the bad parts. This government suppression. Recently, Twitter was banned in Nigeria because the government posted something that was against their community guideline, which was it was something terrible, and the government just banned Twitter for it was just so funny. So looking
Okay,
at
so
this,
you're telling me Twitter is literally banned in Nigeria.
it was banned, but they finally released it. They left it open because the elections are coming. There's new elections coming, so they needed support.
Huh.
And this war in
Who,
Ukraine,
who,
it's,
who, who's running for election out there?
huh?
Who's running for
Oh
election?
yeah, there's a presidential election next year.
Yes, who's going to be on the ballot?
Oh, it's Tinubu, who is from the ruling party APC. Um, Bola Ahmed Tinubu from APC. We call him Bat here. Then we have Atiku Abubakar. Is from PDP, which is the second biggest party. APC is the biggest party, and PDP is the second. It's like Democrats and Republicans, but it's not about different ideas. They're just party names. Um, then the third is, which is the underdog, which is um, Labour Party by Peter Obi, which most people are supporting in Nigeria because we are tired of this two-party system, number one, and the fact that these people, they always, these politicians always take advantage of us because we don't have a choice. I pity you guys there, but we finally have a choice here. Like we have a third man we can choose. We is not among the or like should I put it cabal elites? Yes, you put the word elites. Elites. So we have somebody that is among the elites. I'll call him kind of like the Trump factor. A it's not like them, those other people. So um because of that this election going coming on, they opened up so many things and that was it. And okay, and we really
You know what? You know what's interesting, Alexis? That there's a lot of Nigerians, a massive amount of Nigerians that are investing their income into crypto. Like it is not a joke out there. A lot of people, and we're talking about over 50% of the citizens in Nigeria are in to crypto. Period. Like everybody, the monetary system in Nigeria is falling apart so severely that everybody's trying to leave and buy Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, we say, yeah, absolutely. It's not, do you know the funny part, social media? It's not 50%, it's lower. But
It's low.
it's lower, but there are so many that, how would I explain it now? I was talking to some people, I said Nigerian community in crypto is huge. We are a very huge market for crypto. If we leave, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency is going to fall. So people should look really hard at Nigeria. The fact is, we are spreading it. Like people are telling their friends about crypto and they are more accepting of it because our currency is falling and there's extreme poverty. And um, the sometimes lie they give to people is crypto is a way out of poverty. Like if you want to get rich, you have to get into crypto. That's how they employ so many people into crypto. And so one thing that improved it is like especially to the older people is a lot of Ponzi schemes started using crypto because they want to escape untraceable. So they started using crypto. And because of that, those who indulge in the Ponzi schemes, they have to use crypto, most especially the stablecoin USDT. So that spread crypto to those, even those in the rural area, that spread crypto wide to them because they also want money too. And that's kept them in. Most people don't trade. Most people it's only for um, to exchange it, some to keep in order for because our currency is falling. And then those in the on the higher ups, they know the dollar. I don't know what your government is doing, but they should stop printing so much notes. Um, please, please beg your government.
Hey, I agree with you, man. I agree with you.
Please,
It's affecting us, too, man. It's affecting us,
please.
man. You don't. I'm not for that. I do not want the printing. The average American here does not want more printing. We're so frustrated. We're angry that this is happening. Like, why do they keep doing this? Stop it. Stop it.
Actually, John,
Uh,
if I can
I
just
think
add to
I'll follow
how
your
you
news.
Alexis, if I can just add to it, in terms of Nigeria, actually, DigiShares actually had a webinar last week and actually had somebody from Nigeria who's actually helping tokenizing real estate and helping some of the players in Nigeria. And he put up some of the stats, and some of the stats, the latest stats, was that Nigeria is actually the fastest adopter of crypto blockchain projects and all activities on blockchain in the world. So obviously, and some people I've been speaking to in Nigeria, is that this is finally a way that Nigerians could get ahead in life. And as you know, Alexis, it's pretty hard when you got the situation these guys got over there with all obviously corruption that goes on and obviously the devaluation of your currency. And again, people are seeing the new frontier of blockchain activity in cryptos to be able to get ahead in life. So hat off to you, to Alexis and your Nigerian country people, and to be able to see that this is actually the way for the future in terms of how you're going to achieve in terms of your goals, your aspirations in life, and helping your families is the new frontier of blockchain opportunities. And again, these guys get it. These guys get it, which is great.
That's
yeah.
incredible. It's incredible that you know about my country's corruption. Like it's so fast spread. Like I'm so happy you took time to just learn about like how things how things
Alexis,
are.
Alexis, have you had the opportunity to use the Inara?
No, no, no. Yeah, we all feel it's scam. Currently, cryptocurrency is banned in Nigeria. I wanted to say it at first. It skipped my mind. It's banned. You
It's
can't
banned. It's banned in Nigeria.
banned. You
But
can't. Your account will be locked, and that is the incredible thing. Even with that banned, people, the thing is spreading even faster than anything. It's like
okay.
if the
Hold on,
government
hold on. Just so people can understand what the Inara is. It is the central bank digital currency for Nigeria. Okay, and now you're telling me, Alexis, that Nigeria, the government, has actually banned all crypto. So how are they distributing the Inara? Who is in control of that? Who's benefiting off of that? Is that just a scam coin, or what's going on with the Inara? Alexis, you there?
The Nigerian government's listening. They must be listening to you.
Oh no. Oh no. Hopefully Alexis is fine. Oh man, that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
They
because I was actually
got
going to
him.
ask. I was going to ask
They,
about a couple of questions too, actually, because that was some good interaction there.
yeah.
oh yeah, yeah. Can you guys hear me?
They're not banning. They're not banning the
Hello?
internet yet, are they, Alexis? They're not banning the internet yet, are they?
Hello?
The government over there.
Can you hear me? Oh my God, I'm sorry, the internet is terrible here, and such. And I think if the governments are listening, they can't what they can't do shit. I'll say well, the in-era when it came out, it was a huge surprise because the government just banned crypto. And
Yes.
part of the reason they banned it was we had during the I don't know, maybe you guys have different political belief from me, but during the stupid Black Lives Matter protests that happened in the ripple effect, I'm begging the youth, please fix up so that it won't affect the rest of us. So after the Black Lives Matter protest, Then had their own proof. It has never happened before. Tiananmen, how did they pronounce it? Tiananmen Square shit. So um, there was a huge protest, and people started sending donation money. So the government moved quickly to stop the donation of money, and they blocked so many bank accounts. So people got smart. Crypto was already building ground in Nigeria, and they told people like if they want to donate, they should use crypto wallets to donate. That pissed the people, the higher ups pissed them so much that after the whole riot strike, and they gave this flimsy excuse of crypto is devaluing the naira. Meanwhile, it's them that are doing it, not because of crypto. Crypto has been there for so long. They gave that reason, and they banned crypto. You can't actually get crypto from sites. You can't get crypto from sites. You can only do peer to peer. So most Nigerians are using the peer to peer, like from your fellow Nigerians. You can buy from them and sell from them, but you can't get it from this site. You can't buy it directly like you do in
Okay,
Coinbase. You can't.
Alexis, let me cut you off there for a second because I'm reading a news article saying, have you heard of the NEPSA? NEPSA?
Next, I know I've not heard of it.
Okay, so the NEPSA is an acronym for the Nigerian Export Processing Zones Authority. And so what that is going to be is a virtual free zone that focuses on blockchain and digital economy. That's in partnership with the Nigerian government and with Binance. Did you hear anything about that?
Oh my God! Like this is the first time we are not hyping it. This is the first time I'm hearing that. I don't think. Are you sure it's the Nigerian government? Those
Okay,
guys,
no, okay. Let me
they are
just read the
good
whole
money.
article then. Let me read the article here. So, the Nigerian Export Processing Zone Authority, or otherwise known as the NEPZA, is in discussions with crypto exchange Binance over plans to create a virtual free zone focusing on blockchain and the digital economy. NEPZA will help regulate and operate free zones in the country, wants the results to be similar to Dubai's virtual free zone. In December last year, Binance agreed to help Dubai establish an industry hub for global digital assets with the aim of promoting long term economic growth and encouraging a range of crypto companies to become licensed in the Emirates. Here's a quote. Our goal is to Our goal is to engender a flourishing virtual free zone to take advantage of a near $1 trillion virtual economy in blockchains and digital economy. The NEPZA managing director said in a statement. The initiative follows the launch after October of Nigeria's central bank digital currency, the world's second, following the Bahamas sand dollar. By August, the Inara had been used to carry out transactions worth 4 billion Nara, approximately $9.2 million. Did you hear anything about that, Alexis?
Wow, wow, wow. We don't. I mean, this this sounds like a hype. It sounds like I've not heard of that. I've
Of
never
course,
heard of that.
100%, Alexis. I agree with you 100%. Of course, it is a hype. My question to you is, do the citizens benefit from this, or is this just governments and big corporations? Do the
This
average people
just
out there, do the average people out there um, have assistance from Binance? Are they getting help from Binance to create those transactions, or is it only governments working with Binance?
the fact is, if Binance was smart, and I think the owner is smart. I think CZ has a bunch of Nigerians around him that would advise him that he should trade lightly with the government. If Binance was smart, I think they would proceed, but they would be very smart about it. The government does not do anything to profit its citizens. There's no way they do anything to. Can you get this point? If the US does a currency, let's call it dollar naira, dollar coin or something, a lot of people will buy into it because it's the US and they're finally accepting crypto. Now you are seeing it in our own country. I don't even have an e-naira. I'm into crypto. I don't even have an e-naira. When it came out, there was a lot of backlash against it. I mean, you just banned crypto and you want us to buy your own crypto. I mean, what are you trying to tell us? Are you trying to tell us we're dumb or we don't know what we're doing? So it's this proposal that you said to me just now, this news, it's shocking to me. I would ask some other people, like I would ask my friends if they have heard of it, because this is huge. This is huge. What you so told me just now is supposed to be all over the internet. It's supposed to be trending number one, but in the crypto world, but there's not much traction about it. I don't think anybody knows about it. It says a lot about people's trust in the government and all that stuff. But I'm just hopeful that in the nearest future that the third party wins the election. If the third party wins the election, the guy is not um, there's this thing in the US now of Biden being old, him being um, making like doing some gaffes all around, like shaking the hair and some. That's our government, and they are a bunch of old men. But the third party guy seems young, he seems vibrant, and we hope he wins so that if he wins, he will remove that ban from crypto. Hopefully, and I 100% think he will because he has so many youths around him. And if he does that, the e-naira will be promoted more, and all these news would see it more. But for now, there's so much skepticism on the government's part and crypto. There's no trust. We trust only ourselves. And it's not going to take us that far, but far enough. Far enough. We're huge markets, like you said, a very huge market. Huge markets. Our potential is just it's minute, and people are seeing it. It's just little that people are seeing. I keep saying it's not 50%. It's not 50% City Media. If it's 50, oh my God, it's not 50. We're 200 and 30 million people or so, last census or so. So it's not 50%. Imagine 100 million from Nigeria coming into, oh my God. Do you know? Oh my God. It's not 50 yet. So there's a lot of potential there. And hopefully next year, the potential will be able to unleash the potential. Um, yeah.
All right, Alexis, I just have one more question for you, and then I'll pass it over to Brick. That I think he wants to speak to you because you're from Nigeria and have that experience. My question to you, my last question to you, Alexis, is how long have you been in the crypto space?
Well, I've been around for a long time, but I haven't taken it very seriously. The first coin I actually bought was Litecoin. I just loved the name. The name was funny to me then. So I bought it. It was really cheap back then. I I was in the crypto space. I think uh, I think 2019. Yeah, 2019. That was when I started the crypto space. But I was not serious then. I was mostly on Telegram. I heard it from, and I was into airdrops. I love airdrops. It has dipped for now, but I was into airdrops, and well, I've been robbed many times, so I don't trust it that much again. But it's all good. So I think it's 3 years
So
now.
have I. Brick, go ahead.
Yeah, it's great conversation, Alexis. I'm really enjoying hearing you in terms of what's happened there in Nigeria, and what I love about in terms of what we do on Twitter and blockchain is that we've got a global community. And I mean, obviously with John, he's over there in California in the beautiful San Jose, and I'm here in Australia. You're in Nigeria. JC's in the room as well. I see JC. JC, I think JC's on the East Coast. I believe. I could be wrong, JC. Apologies, but I'm pretty sure you're on the East Coast of the US. But that's what I love in terms of being a global community, and we all getting to experience in terms of what's happening in our own spaces. And but in terms of Alexis, in terms of where you are in Nigeria, share some of the experiences from say the everyday person in Nigeria. Um, what's their ability to access to normal banking? Is it restricted? Everybody has access to go to a bank and be able to use banking facilities, or basically it's a very only restricted to very few, given obviously there might be some of the bank costs that they charge you. Tell us the experiences around access to normal banking system over there.
Well, banking system is quite good here. It's good. The only problem now is the government, they are trying to fix a problem they started in the first place. So you can't get more than $100 here. You can't. You just can't. The bank won't give you dollars. They won't give you. It's funny because oh my god. It's funny because we are a oil producing country. I mean, we have bountiful oil. I think we're third largest in the world. South, there's US, there's in terms of what is the word they put it? What is the word that they use? Oil reserves. In terms of oil reserves, we have like the third or fourth. I don't know, but I know it's top five, and yet we don't have dollars. I mean, oh my god, and oil is traded in dollars. So it's really sad, and it's affecting so many people um, not having access to dollars. And the banking system itself is good. You can open a bank, you can use the banking facilities. As far as for loan, I've heard um, the loan facilities. It's not quite there yet, but there's this push now, like smaller companies are opening up. And because those smaller companies are doing better than the banks are they are fixing up, like they are trying to compete. Competition brings growth. So in terms of that, I think that is improving like little by little because of these smaller companies. And but the issue of the dollars that we can't release is affecting our exports. Only few people, only the elites, can actually get dollars from the bank. You can't go to the bank in Nigeria and just request for dollars. They will just laugh at you. It's like a joke. And it's supposed not to be. We're not living in Venezuela or some third world country. We're actually living in a third world country, but we're not living in a country that is not like that is restricted from having the dollars. There's no way Nigeria is restricted from having the dollars, but we the citizens, we can't have access to it, and it's affecting most of us because most things in the world, they are traded with dollars. Most things. If you want to exchange cryptocurrency, sometimes they don't collect naira, they collect dollars. So uh, one thing that is helping us is those abroad, those that live in the US or they live in there are a lot of Nigerians all over the world. Nigerians are too many. I don't use that word. We are much. We are very, very, like we are we are a populated country. So there are a lot of Nigerians abroad, and some of them help like with the issue of sending back dollars, and that is why the issue is not huge because of that. Because if you need dollar, you can call a relative abroad. Almost everybody has a relative abroad. You can call up a relative and get access to dollars, but for the banks, you can't get um, dollars from the bank. Um, in terms of I would say in terms of infrastructure, they are improving. Most of the banks, they are trying to um, help citizens maneuver the government in terms of cryptocurrency. Though a bank was recently flagged for that, they tried and then the government flagged them down, which was not nice. But it sent a warning to the rest banks, and everybody is like they don't want to do those kind of transactions again. But it's not. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. Banking system is good. It's good. If not for the dollars, it's good. It's good.
It sounds like you've got a banking system, but obviously restrictions. I think in some way or form, I think we all experience different sort of controls by the banks. I mean, I know some banks in the US, some of my colleagues in the US, they've had bank accounts frozen because when they tried to transfer funds from crypto into their accounts, the banks picked up and frozen the accounts. Here in Australia, we haven't actually had that experience. There's been questions. I know one of my bank accounts, they questioned whether the funds going in from crypto. That there's sort of a few questions around it, but again, I think the main thing there is there is some restrictions. My last question to you, Alexis, from a in terms of property perspective, the everyday person trying to buy a property investment property in Nigeria, how hard is it to go to the bank and borrow funds to borrow property over there? Has the everyday person got the ability to borrow for investment properties over there in Nigeria, or is that something that people don't even think about it because it's so restricted? You got just get your feedback on that.
Well, uh, um, unrelated to your Australian accent is not that strong. When you said you were from Australia, I was shocked. You have this American accent, like, well, it's nice. Well, as for the banks, in relative to getting loans from the bank, um, it's quite um, difficult for an average Nigerian. I've not yet collected a loan from the bank, because if I need a loan, I would probably ask somebody else, like a relative, a friend. That is how I do my loan. But from what people have told me about the banks, um, it's strict. It's strict to some people that take loans from the bank. Generally, they have, like put it, you must have a stable business. The scrutiny is very, very high for people who are taking loans, very, very high. They don't want to lose their money because the banks depend on it. And they check your background, they check your banking history, most especially your banking history, which makes it difficult, because if you are not somebody that uses the bank a lot, make activities, you can't get access to the loans. So most people, they seek outside help, like they will ask relatives, friends like me, or there are smaller institutions that give loan. There's something here they call LAPO, LAPO. It's funny that the LAPO is we don't say that word lightly. We say it when, like, it's your last hope. That's like, you don't have anything to lose again. That's when you go there and you collect loans from them, and it's easier, it's faster, and it's far 10 times better than banks, because they will give you. It's like they have the money to give. They'll just dish it out to you. The problem with it is, if they are coming back for their money, they come back. They don't come. They don't come only for you, because if you want to get the loan, you have to sign a benefactor. So if they don't find you, they will find the benefactor, wherever the benefactor is, or the guarantor, wherever the guarantor is, and then they do some awful things. It's like a mafia. They take your stuff, collect your bank cards. They do some kinds of stuff. So it's relative is good. It's good. People don't take loans that much, yeah. The rich do. Over there in, like, the US, for instance, because I follow the US news more than my news. Like, I see that most times you take a loan, and then because you take a loan, there will be reduction in tax or something, and you can bypass so many things with the loan. But out here, it's not the same. Everything is straightforward, pretty much straightforward. There's nothing like you will try to bypass the government with a loan. They don't care about the loan you take. As far as you pay it back, it doesn't mean anything. It's just you and the bank that have business with each other. So you must be really pragmatic with what you use the loan for. It's quite strict. It's quite good. It's quite good. Some take crypto loan these days. It's a new trend now. um, it's quite funny, but people do it these days to back up their assets in crypto. It's nice. It's nice, though. It's nice. Um, so yeah, that's it.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. Great to get that feedback from you. So you think in terms of the new frontier, in terms in addition to cryptos, do you think tokenized real estate, in terms of the everyday Nigerian, be able to buy tokenized real estate from anywhere in the world is going to be something that's going to be of interest to Nigerians?
Well, the tokenize is I think it's part of the Web3, isn't it? The Web3 is something strange. Yeah, there's a lot of uneducated people in Nigeria. There's a lot of uneducated people, and telling them something weird like Bitcoin is straightforward. You tell them buy this thing, it will be inside your digital. Your money is safe. That's what you tell them at the end. Your money is safe. It's somewhere. It's just inside your computer. They will understand that, but telling them there's the whole world inside the computer, like you'll be blowing people's mind, like you'll be like, wow, where is this coming from? You guys are crazy, you guys are going nuts. This world, oh my god, it's Web3 is going to cause such a chaos in this country. It's going to cause so much chaos, but well, I hope I'll be there for it. And tokenizing, what was the question again? Tokenizing bricks.
That's great, Alexis. I really appreciate your feedback there. DM,
He, he was at,
send
he
me a
was
DM.
Rick.
Send me
He
a
was
DM. Send me a
he,
DM, Alexis. I'd like to share something with you. If you just send me a DM. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, John.
And please tell your government to stop printing money. That's all I can say at the end.
Alexis, that's perfect, man. That's a perfect way to end the episode. Yeah, thanks for being here. Our time is up for today. If you want to hang out next week, we'll be back on next Tuesday around the same time. So hang out with us then. Yeah. So by the way, Alexis, this recording will be on YouTube. If you follow C3 Media on YouTube, you will hear your voice on YouTube. You are the best one so far, Alexis. Thank you. All right. So Cryptonauts, until next time, stack sats and huddle. Adios.